Bienvenido, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Tropical Bets Ahora with Q. I'm your host, as always, Rich Quinones. If you are just joining us for the very first time, this is a 30-minute, fast-paced, rapid-fire sports betting, sports gambling show, and we kind of cater around the target audience, the demographics, the geographics, when we're talking about Latin, Central, South America, the Caribbean, and our wonderful friends who have just been unbelievable with the feedback, tuning in on channel 82 in Bermuda. We always have to give a shout out to the lovely people in Bermuda. I can't believe you guys are hitting me up on social, actually saying you're enjoying the show. Now, I'm not surprised by that, but it's still very, very nice to hear. So, with that being said, we always remind the viewing and the listening audience a couple things. The show itself, entertainment purposes only, right? So we're not experts. We are not asking you to shell out good money for paid subscription and or membership. It's just a little insight on where we believe these lines will fall within sports betting, a little insight on how we think these games will shake out and they will play out. It's one of the reasons we preview, we do a little more deeper dive analysis, and then obviously we start to recap a little bit as the show goes on from prior weeks' content and also picks as well. So, again, we always like to just kind of throw it up there so you guys can see. Entertainment purposes only, gambling problem, 1 800 Gambler. So, today I'm going to give you a couple plays on the pitch. And by the way, how about last week? I mean, can we talk about for the good folks that chimed in last week? And you guys were just waxing poetic about Q's knowledge, my knowledge, and I appreciate that. Once in a while, I get a couple of these right, but we nailed it. We nailed it last week. We said Brighton is going to shock Chelsea, and that's exactly what they did. Not a bad weekend in the NFL. And then obviously the boxing plays a little bit by the wayside. But be that as it may, I want to talk a little money management bankroll today with you, but I also want to get into some of these plays. Two on the pitch, one in the fight game. And if you follow along on my YouTube channel as well, at Rich Q and Q or Caribbean Deportes Talk, which is another channel, I always put a lot of my picks out there as well. Social media on IG at Rich Q and Q, on X at Rich Q and Q, and TikTok Rich Q on the mic. And I'll be posting and showing you how you can connect with me on social media. Very, very easy to do. And again, I got so many comments over the last several weeks, and I love when you guys give feedback, constructive criticism. You guys get on me if my pick is wrong. You praise me if the pick is right. It's all in good fun. I never take it personal, and I always enjoy the engagement. It's one of the reasons you guys need to get social with me, right? And as I mentioned, very, very easy to do, at Rich Q on QX, and of course on IG, and then TikTok Rich Q on the mic. And by the way, also too, in the show notes, you'll see with my sports betting pod in the US, Back Your Play, we're always powered by our good friends over at Fresh Roasted Coffee. So you'll see the promo notes and you'll see BYP20. You can use that affiliate link for all my friends watching TBA, Tropical Bets Ahora. And again, you can get a purchase, save 20% off your first purchase of coffee, Fresh Roasted Coffee. You guys know I am a big coffee drinker, love my cafe, right? A little cafe con leche on the air when I do my broadcast. So I always have my fresh roasted coffee with me. So, all right. So you guys are probably like, all right, Q, enough of the showing here, right? Enough of the pushing the product. Let's get to some of these games. We are. Let me talk a little bit about bankroll money management for a couple moments. So depending upon whether you are sports betting, sports gambling, if you're walking into a casino, if you play online, everything is all about bankroll money management, right? And there's a discipline involved in that. So let's just say you're doing the Premier League, or you're doing the NFL in the States, or you're doing the NBA, or you're doing the Caribbean Basketball League, or you're doing cricket or horse racing. And let's also say that it's seasonal. So you're stretching it out 6 months. Let's take the NFL in the States. January, well, I should say September, October, November, December, January, right? Forget about preseason. And we'll obviously bleed into February because of Super Bowl. 6 solid months. 6 solid months. So, and again, I always say this too. Doesn't matter how much you are betting. Like that's no one's concern. If you put a buck on a game, $5 on a game, 50, $25, that's your business. But no, if you're going to do the NFL and it's 6 months, and let's say you've allocated, we'll round about, we'll give you an arbitrary number, 3,000 for the football season. That's what you can play with. Okay. That's your bankroll. That's your budget. That's what you've allocated. Think of it as marketing dollars. But again, for entertainment purposes, you go in knowing these are entertainment purposes. If you can win a couple dollars, fantastic. That's great. So now you're looking at 500 a month, right? 500 times six, my liberal arts math in the States, is $3,000. You don't want to fire off all the bullets. You don't want to empty the chamber in week one, right? Or the preseason. Week one in the NFL, typically defenses are a little more ahead of the offenses. So you're going to get low scoring games. Kind of hasn't been the case this season over the last several weeks. But my point is if you got 300 to play with a weekend, or even if it's 200 to play with a weekend, and you're looking at 4,000, right? Or 3,000 for the season, whatever that number is, you've got to be disciplined. So if I have 300 that I can play with this weekend in the NFL, I would be foolish unless I really felt very comfortable about one side to lay everything on one side, one game. I might sprinkle around a couple games. I might decide I'm going to go light in the 1 o'clock, a little more heavier in the 4 o'clock, depending upon how I do in the 1 o'clock. If I don't like a game, I'm not going to bet it. And I'm just going to roll that money over to the next weekend. So there's a discipline. You don't have to bet and gamble just to bet and gamble on the games, on these sporting events. But be very judicious, be very smart, keep a book, keep a log. I do. I track everything all the time, whether it's 5, 10, 15, 20, whether it's 25 units, whether it's 100 units, it doesn't matter. I track it, wins and losses. And look, ultimately, if you break even, if you put a couple dollars in your pocket, that's a plus. The same goes when you walk into the casino. You're not going to, if you're a table games player, which I am. I enjoy blackjack, and I understand it's a hit and run. We call it hit and run, which means I sit on the table, I try to get a good run of cards, I profit a little bit, put a little money in the pocket, and I get the heck off the table. Because the longer you stay, the longer you play, you're going to put it right back. The house always wins. That's key. The house always wins. So unless you walk one time in the casino and you win $1 and you profit at $1 and never step foot, you beat the house. It's always a rarity. So you're not going to sit at a $25 table with, 300 bucks. If you're going to sit at a $5 or $10 table, you might be able to get away with a couple shoes of $300 because eventually you're going to get a bad run of cards or you might have to sit out a couple hands. So it's bankroll money management. It's just like in sports betting. If you don't like a game, don't bet it. If you don't like the way the table looks, the way the table feels, if you don't like the vibe from the dealer, if you don't like how people are playing, don't sit at that table. Walk around a little bit. Give yourself a little wiggle room. And sometimes it's okay to not play. I'm not advocating sit your fanny down and play. I'm not advocating go online to FanDuel, DraftKings, BetMGM, Live 365 and put in bets. That's not what I'm advocating. What I'm saying is simple enough. If you're not feeling it, don't go in the pocket. Live to fight another day, right? So I believe that with sports betting, shopping around, you hear me say that a lot on the show, shopping around value. If you're looking at a Premier League game, you're looking at West Ham versus Manchester United, and you see that West Ham, is a favorable dog at plus 220 on one app, and then on another app it's at plus 226. Well, there's more value with that second app, but you got to shop around. You have to shop around. And if you're budgeted for X amount of dollars that weekend, you have to maintain discipline. You can't just sporadically just chase losses, right? I'm not going to sit down at a blackjack table and play a $5 hand and lose four hands in a row and I'm already minus $20, minus 20 units. And then my fifth hand, I'm foolish if I throw $25 thinking I'm going to make it back in one hand. It doesn't work like that. The odds favor the house in that regard. That's chasing your losses. So come up with a set plan, right? Educate yourself and do some research. If you're comfortable betting soccer and that's your sport and you know the teams and you understand how the lines work, have at it. If you're comfortable betting the NFL, football, American football, and you understand the trends, you understand the lines and the movement, you understand injuries are very vital and key in the NFL. If you understand that and you're comfortable with it, then maybe that should be the sport of choice. If you're a horse racing guy or girl and you understand horse racing and know how to bet, trifecta, exacta, box, right? Go for it. But always have a plan in place. And remember one thing, it's like anything else. You're going to have losing days, losing weekends, losing months. Um, it's always good. Sometimes you take a step back, you regroup a little bit. There's no reason to just try to get everything back. You're not going to get it all back in one swing, right? You're down 6 runs in baseball. There's no such thing as a 6 run homer. You're not going to get it back in one swing. So, money management discipline, and it takes time. It takes time and years to acquire the discipline because we're humans and we think, irrationally sometimes. So if we lose a bet, if we lose a game, we want to jump to the next one, trying to make up our losses psychologically. And that's not the route you want to go. You want to go in with a clear mind. You want to go in with a plan, shop around a little bit. Don't be swayed by what everyone else is doing, right? A lot of people online will give you picks, and you'll see a lot of people say, man, this guy's hot. He's at 75%. I'm going to tail him, meaning I'm going to ride his picks. So whatever Rich Quinones throws out there, that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, I don't advise that because everyone has a different rhyme or reason how they pick games or how they choose games or what type of research they're doing. What are they looking at? Trends, right? The stats, injuries, weather, coaching changes, skids, everything, travel. There's so many things to take in consideration and account. So just, I caution you guys with that. Always have a plan, bankroll management, money management, and I'm not a fan of paying for picks um, because a lot of times the handicapper wants to lock you in for that month to month subscription, 150, 200, 250, that's a lot of money, right? You can be doing something a little more better with your time with that money. Um, and there's no guarantees. And there's no guarantees what anyone says. There's no guarantees when I do the show every week and you guys are engaged in it that we're going to give you winners. I mean, more times than not, you're going to get losers. But if you can go on a nice little run and you can put a little coin in the pocket, that's a blessing. That's great. But have fun with it. But have a plan. Have a plan of attack. Last week we gave you the Premier League. We did well. Then we kind of came back down to earth with a couple of the fights, but we did much better with the NFL because I'm familiar with that, the NFL in the States. And I have a pretty good track record with those games. But sometimes I'll have a 1 for 4 weekend. But I'm not trying to catch up and make it up on a Monday Night Football. I'm not doing that. Football, you can look at player props, which we're going to take a look at today in Premier League with some goals. So that's kind of where I just wanted to start the show with that because, again, we've all been there. We've all had losing streaks, right? Winning streaks, and you think these are never going to last, always going to last, never going to change, has to change. You got to take a step back sometimes, right? You have to take a step back because if you're trying to make money off of this and you're trying to just squirrel, 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 then it's going to be a slow, steady grind and marathon. For a guy like me, I love that because I log it and I stick to the game plan and I stay the course. All right. We are, let's just say, a quarter plus in the books here on Tropical Bets Ahora. Always want to remind you guys, get social with me. Very, very easy to do. At Rich Q on X, on IG, and of course, TikTok, Rich Q on the mic. And how about the special hello? We always like to just say, that special hello, that hola, la que tal, como estás, que pasa contigo, to our good friends over in Channel 82 Bermuda. Check them out online. These guys do fantastic job with content and the shows, and they're so engaging. And I'm telling you, I absolutely just thrilled and humbled that some of you guys were telling me you were watching over there last week. Some of you guys told me, what the hell are you doing with your picks? But besides the point, we still had fun with it. All right, quick timeout. We're going to come back. Premier League. We've been a little bit of a run with Premier League. I'm going to give you 2 plays with that, a little more in-depth analysis, and then we'll close with a little boxing talk, a little NFL talk as well. Keep it locked in. Tropical Bets Ahora right here on Channel 82 in Bermuda. Quick timeout. We'll come back on the other side. All right, welcome back, everyone, to TVA, Tropical Bets Ahora with Q. I'm your host, Rich Quinones. By the way, as promised, we got the log right here, right? Like I said, keep the log, keep the log. You know, you don't want to cook the books, which is a expression some may know exactly what that means. All right, let's get into it. So, Premier League got a bunch of matchups Saturday, October 4th, Leeds United versus Tottenham, MU versus Sunderland, Arsenal versus West Ham United, Chelsea versus Liverpool. I think we're going to focus on those two um, subsequent picks right there. All right. So Arsenal, West Ham, I believe that is 10 a.m. early start Saturday in the morning. So Arsenal took a really nice step. Champions League campaign during the week, Wednesday night. Took care of a team that I actually enjoy watching, Olympiacos 2-0. You had a lively home crowd in that one. So again, they had that emotional, physical battle, right? They took care of business. They're playing with a lot of confidence. And now you welcome West Ham, right, for the first London Derby of the season Saturday. Saka, Ursa, they can all be together in the starting lineup for Arsenal. Injuries have really presented themselves to be a detriment to this squad. And I mentioned those two, Saka and Ursa. They were on the bench for Wednesday's win. And actually, I believe one of them scored as well. So I'm looking at this in a couple directions, right? So Arsenal is going to go with that 4-3-3. They are a huge favorite in this one. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Minus 425. Are you going to risk 400, $25 to win back minimal games? The only reason I'm giving you this game is because I'm looking at this from a couple avenues, right? So if you're looking at the hammers, right? West Ham has started the season off just about the worst way possible. So if it's not even kind of a worse start from the Wolves, they would probably be bottom of the table. And I think this is it's a game that both teams need. But as I mentioned, Arsenal may be coming back with a full deck, and again, they can move to the summit of the Premier League with a victory in London against this squad. Now, the Gunners have won 6 of their last 8 in the league. They've accumulated more points than any other side since I believe it's mid May. And if you go back to West Ham's record in London, not very impressive. It's definitely worth examining. They've lost 8 of their last 11. So a home victory, it's there. But man, I'll tell you, here's my look but don't touch money line wise. But this is what I do like. Look, Arsenal's a strong favorite, and they should be. Both teams to score a goal. Yes, at plus 120. So Arsenal is a heavy favorite. West Ham has that counter-attacking threat, that ability. I think that can cause problems, open up a lot of spacing on the pitch. I think betting both teams to score offers a positive ROI, return on your investment. Arsenal total goals over 2.5. If you believe they're going to win this game, if you believe it's going to be a laugher on the pitch and they're going to win it 3-0, 3-1, 4-0, then grab over 2.5 at plus 105. Again, value for that because that's positive numbers, the plus, right? So given Arsenal's attacking power at home, West Ham, we talked a little bit about their defensive liabilities, especially in the back position. I think we mentioned that the last show or maybe 2 weeks ago. Very undisciplined. They've had some. They've had some issues. They're very vulnerable in the back end. That goalie has also given up some weak goals. I like over 2.5. To me, that's a solid option. All right, Chelsea and Liverpool. Here we go. Liverpool aiming to end their 2-game losing sequence. They're going to face Chelsea on Saturday. The Reds haven't lost back-to-back league games since April 2025. Now, you look at Chelsea, a couple bad defeats for their last 5 against defending champions as well at Stamford Bridge. They are unbeaten in their last 4 home fixtures, home games against Liverpool. Now, you're talking again, pushing the pace, pushing the pace, pushing the pace. This is what I love in this game. You can dissect it, we can analyze it, we can go top to bottom of this game. But the problem is one of these two teams remains extremely inconsistent. I think you guys know where I'm going this year, right? Yet, the Blues have to go out there and they understand the importance of a game like this because we've got to now snap a very poor PL Premier League run. It's got to end sometime, right? And I think they're going to try to build on that success, the European success, in front of a very nice home fan base. It's always good to play in home. You always have a little bit of the edge and the angle. That's something also to watch, especially in soccer too. The pitch, the conditions, the weather, right? Tough track, tough field, muddy issues. So those are things to take in consideration. Now, if you're looking for a full time result, which we talked a little bit about by definition last week, moneyline Chelsea plus 180, Liverpool plus 125, draw moneyline plus 260. Okay, draw no bet. Moneyline Chelsea minus 625, Liverpool plus 360. Oh my goodness, it's getting a little dicey right now, is it not? Total goals over 3.5 plus 125, under 3.5 minus 175. This is what I like in this game. Under 3.5 goals minus 185. I believe you'll see that on BetMGM. And I've gone back. If you look at from that standpoint, Chelsea's last four, right? When you're talking about points to KG affair, Chelsea's last four is finished. And now follow me: 1-0, 1-3, 2-1, 1-2. Three of four have hit the under 3.5. Liverpool's last four read this: well, 1-0, 2-1, but well, you understand for soccer purposes, for the audience, 0-1, 1-2, 2-1, and 2-1 all fell under 3.5. You just do the math: 1-2-3, 2-1-3, 0-1, under 1, under 3, under 3.5. There you go. I think this game is going to be a low scoring defensive affair. I don't think these teams are going to have a lot of shots on goal. You might get a couple free kicks here and there. You might get a couple corners here and there. I don't believe they're going to cash in. Now, meetings between these two teams at Stamford Bridge are typically tight. Chelsea has a very inconsistent attack. Liverpool grinding out some narrow results. The play on this one for me, under 3.5 goals. And again, minus 185, pretty likely. Now, we're going to take it up a notch. We're going to go with that anytime score, which we gave you last week. If you recall, we gave you that last week, and I believe we gave you that in the Brighton Chelsea game. Now we're going to do it again this week. Mohamed Salah to score anytime goal, plus 165. He's the primary goal threat for Liverpool. Again, he's the penalty taker as well. So if you're talking about a free kick, here we go. 2 goals, 2 assists, 6 league games this season. Solid record versus Chelsea: 5 goals, 4 assists in 15 Premier League meetings. So again, he's starting to just find his groove, and he's also well rested. And I'm telling you right now, you're talking about that big game quality and pedigree. I don't care what sport it is. If you're a clutch player, you're a clutch player. Salah is a clutch player. Very good striker, can put the ball in the net. Plus 165 anytime goal. As far as the game itself, I don't have a feel for it money line wise, result wise. I mean, I think there's a fine line, right? So Liverpool has stumbled at times. And then we talked a little bit about Chelsea. And again, it's just the inconsistent nature, the inconsistent play that I've seen this season. And again, we've talked about the head coach is under fire. This team has been ridiculously vulnerable. It's one of these, again, result wise, from a Q standpoint, look, but don't touch. All right, quickly to wrap it up, I told you we're going to give you some analysis on that one. One boxing play that I really like: Scotland Saturday night European title clash. Nathan Collins taking on Cristobal Lorenta. Collins, 29 years of age, southpaw, stands 5'9", comes in solid mark, 22 and 23 and 6. 8 knockouts, never been stopped in 6 career losses. 29 fights, 141 rounds, 34 knockout rate, 17-fight winning streak. Lorente, the Spaniard, 29 years of age, 5'9" and a half, 134 rounds, 40% KO rate, solid mark, 20-0-2. He's got 2 draws, 8 knockouts. Here's the thing: Spaniard, not as much pedigree, undefeated, yes, but again, I'm telling you, I'm giving you this for a reason. This fight, this is like a learning experience for you guys. So Collins comes in a ridiculous heavy favorite in this one. If you listen to the show 2 weeks ago, I told you I always love to play the underdogs. Well, I'm actually going to go with the favorite here, and I think this is going to be an early stoppage. That's because of the pedigree by Lorento. And as I mentioned, you look on face value, 20-0-2. Oh my God, Q, this guy's a hell of a fighter. Yeah, he's coming off a draw against an 8-0 Ruben Gill. That scares the bejeebuses out of me. It does. And Collins, Southpaw, nobody likes to take on Southpaws. He's slick. You've got a tailor-made opponent in Lorente who doesn't move his head. He's very stationary. I think he's going to be an open target. I'm going to play stoppage, knockout, rounds 1 to 6 for plus money. Shop around, shop around. Like I said, the Spaniards 20-0, European champion, but again, low key opposition, small time fights. That's when you go to the heavy favorite in that one, and you're going to have to risk it. I mean, it's 575, couple bucks, but you're going to have to risk it if you want to. Look, if you think the Spaniard's going to win and pull off amazing upset plus 475, that's going to put you some really nice bank in your pocket. So I just think when it comes to the sweet science, I look at the pedigree, I look at the resume, I look at the track record, and I look at a kid like Colin, slick, skillful. And listen, man, he's a guy that knows how to stop that counterpuncher. Those Spaniards, kind of that style, they're going to come a little forward, kind of like Mexican fighters. But again, the fact that he's not going to move his head, he's going to be a stationary target. If I'm Collins, I just sit there, pepper, 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 go right down to the body, right? And what happens? You keep working the body, the head's going to fall. So I'm going stoppage, TKO, 1 to 6 rounds. So I'm saying from the first to the sixth, I think there's going to be a stoppage. Oh my goodness, 30 minutes. Where does it fly by? 30 minutes flies by. It's unbelievable. Now, if you're tuning in on channel 82 in Bermuda, you guys get us for 30, and then you can go enjoy the gorgeous weather. Go to the beach, have a couple of Coronas, a little rum, right? And just relax, watch the sunset, keep us on demand on channel 82 in Bermuda. Now in the States, we got to get back to the grind because that's what we do. All right. Want to remind everyone that we are powered by our good friends over Fresh Roasted Coffee, and we're also coming to you exclusively on channel 82 in Bermuda. I have a blast with you guys. 30 minutes flies by. We're going to start firing off the show live as well on the YouTube channel, in addition to X. So definitely check that out at Rich Q on X and IG, Rich Q on the mic on TikTok. And that's what we love to say. Get social with me. Get social with me. I want to hear where you guys are tuning in from. Where you're listening from. I want you guys to chime in and say, Q, you're talking way too fast for me. How many cups of fresh roasted coffee have you had? Don't like too much in the NFL this weekend, but I will tweet out some plays on Sunday at Rich Q on Q, a couple player props. I want to get into that a little more next week, but remember too, the money management, the bankroll. You guys work hard for your money. Bankroll, stress it, stretch it out. Don't stress, don't chase the losses. Little dabble here, a little squirrel here, save a nut here, boom, 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 and you're good to go for the winter, right? You're storing your nuts, you're building a little equity in the bank, and that's really what it's all about. Have fun, and remember, as always, the show itself, Tropical Bets Ahora, is for entertainment purposes only. So you got two nice soccer plays, and you got a good fight play if you want to dabble into that as well. And then good stuff, talking a little bit about the bankroll, the money management, right? Go out there, you got your dollar stores, go grab a little binder, grab a book, and then just kind of document and track your progress, right? Track your mental state as you're doing this as well. If you start to get angry and frustrated, take a step back, right? All right, got to start wrapping up on this edition of Tropical Bets Ahora. We appreciate everyone from the States tuning in, and of course, the lovely, the wonderful people on Channel 82 Bermuda. I cannot wait to get out there and do a broadcast with you guys and meet everyone. So, as always, we'll be back in the Saturday. You can catch me Monday to Friday on Q, and of course, Back Your Play, which is on Spotify, Amazon, and also wherever you get your podcast. But as we always like to say, we appreciate everyone tuning us in, locking us in. Enjoy the weekend of games wherever you are watching them. And of course, remember, bet responsibly, be safe, be sound. And as always, I'm Rich Quinones. Thanks for tuning in to Tropical Bets Ahora. Hasta luego, buen día. And gracias por tu tiempo. So thank you for your time, and we will talk to you guys very soon. Well, you know what? We'll talk to you guys next week. Have a wonderful sports weekend. Take care.